I believe people are already joining in, so we can start the session. A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nawaz, and I'm a technical growth manager at Wialon, and I mainly help our partners in understanding different functionalities and possibilities of Wialon. I also have my colleague Viktoria Chabai from Wialon product team here. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Nawaz, and everyone who's watching. It's a true pleasure to be here with you today, and I can't wait to share details about our product development.
That's great. Well, before we dive into the agenda for today, let's see how many people have joined in. We have more than 60 participants. We have a lot more people to join. So maybe let's wait for like a few seconds for everybody to come in and settle down. Okay, that's great. I believe we can start. So that's great. Let's share the agenda for today's webinar. I'll be presenting the new features in Wialon that were released in QA and Q2 this year. And Victoria will be sharing some key insights from our product team regarding these features. Please feel free to type your questions in the Q&A section in Zoom, and we'll do our best to answer all of them. By the way, there is a chat section, and then there is a Q&A section in Zoom. So please feel free to use the respective sections. For example, if you have any question, please type it in the Q&A. And if you randomly have some news or you want to chat, you can type in the chat box. So feel free to use the two sections. And we'll try to answer all your questions. As I said, if some questions remain unanswered by the end of this session, rest assured that we'll contact you after this webinar and address it personally. By the way, can someone try writing something in the Q&A? I just want to be sure you are able to type there. We can test it while others are still joining. Let me see.
Yeah, there are some questions already. Seems to be working.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, everyone. I received the questions and it's working fine. Thanks a lot. And also, I can see that the chat box is empty. Can someone try to write a message in the chat? Are you all able to? The chat is disabled as I read some of the comments. Oh, that's not good. Let's try to fix this. One moment. It's not. Can you type now? Wow, that's great. So we have the chat working. Amazing. So everything looks good. Let's move ahead. We have a good number of participants already in, so we can proceed. All right, what we have. My colleague, Tim Sherbakov, is the technical growth manager, Wialon, and he will be moderating the chat for this webinar. So feel free to make use of his expertise and keep the chat stream buzzing.
And as I represent the product team, I'd like to ask our audience for a small favor. Here's a QR code, so please scan it to take a quick survey. We'd like to know your opinion about some of the features we are considering for future updates. Our team is constantly working on ideas on how we could improve Wialon, but your opinion is highly important to us. No one knows your customers' needs and pains better, so please take a look. We review every response we get and analyze them carefully, so your input might have a direct impact on our product decisions. So I suggest you scan this code now. However, please take the survey after the webinar is over in order to stay with us, focusing on our updates. Thank you in advance.
Right. So before we dive into the features launched, Victoria, could you please share with the audience why did the Wialon product team prioritize developing these features that we will be discussing today? Do we have some system for managing and prioritizing the development requests, or do we pick them randomly?
Well, like any successful business, we need to allocate our resources most effectively in order to continue growth and ensure successful product development. So the main challenge we face as a product team is that the more complex the product is and the more business needs in different industries it covers, the more factors we need to consider for picking this or that feature into development. So what we do, we analyze the market needs and trends, our competitors, and of course, all the feedback and feature ideas we get. Also, the best practices typically take different factors into account and balance them out. For example, we always consider the potential impact of the feature and how many users it would affect. And of course, we need to evaluate how much time it would take to be developed in order to keep up with the market requirements and concentrate only on the most promising and valuable ideas.
That sounds great. Can you also share how these features align with Wialon's product vision and roadmap?
Good question, Nawaz. But first, let me remind you that product development is not all about the new features, right? Of course, they move the product forward, give more opportunities to its users, and add more potential to their businesses. But at its core, product management is a constant balance of resources between new features, technical goals, and maintaining a high level of quality. So we put much effort into optimization, bug fixing, and other significant technical improvements. So a big part of Wialon's vision includes goals that are not related to features at all. But regarding new functionality, we usually spread our efforts between enhancing different system parts from different angles. So in simple words, the features we have already developed during this year so far mostly aim at two goals. The first one is to optimize user workflow and simplify routine tasks. And the second one is to create new workflows for those tasks that are currently being solved in the product through workarounds, not in a very convenient way. So overall, considering the market needs, we aim to develop new features that will either make our existing users happier or make the system more lovable for the potential new users. And well, I hope you'll see this through our webinar today.
Amazing. I think it's time to show the audience what's new in Wialon this year, right?
Yes, let's do this, and we'll try to stick to the following presentation format. Nawaz will describe the new feature as a before and after comparison, and I will provide a small comment regarding the issues behind this or that improvement and the value they bring to our users. For the sake of the time limit, I'll give the comments only on the most interesting and significant features, although, well, I could talk about our features for hours, frankly. And if you stay with us till the end, you'll find out about the latest June updates that became available just yesterday, and I'll tell you a bit more about them.
Great. So here we go. The first feature we are going to present today is LeaseControl. So this feature, as our users might be aware earlier, there was no mobile application for LeaseControl, and the users were forced to use the LeaseControl through a mobile browser, which we all know it's not very convenient. Moreover, there was no possibility of white labeling LeaseControl. This made it a much anticipated feature. And I'm glad that now users have the opportunity to manage their leased fleets directly within the Wialon app. This means they can easily track vehicles, set up geofences, receive alarm notifications, and even remotely shut down the engine, all from the convenience of their smartphones. To access these features, users can log into the regular Wialon mobile application using their LeaseControl credentials. So no separate LeaseControl application. You can use the normal Wialon mobile application and just use the credentials of LeaseControl to log in. Moreover, you can now also white label the LeaseControl application that is, customize the solution's interface, example, change the name and logo to match your branding. Victoria, any other details on how we decided to develop these?
Yeah, it's actually a great example of how our product team reacts to feedback. Let me remind you that LeaseControl is, well, a standalone solution. It is a GPS tracking solution built specifically for auto financing businesses. So this solution contains all the tools needed for financed vehicle location tracking and recovery. So after it was released, we gathered feedback and observed how the solution was doing on the market. And after some time, we realized that a lot of opportunities might be lost for our partners because the solution was lacking two possibilities that are, well, very usual for Wialon partners: white labeling option and mobile application. And we took this feedback into consideration. Of course, we prioritized it along with other features, as I explained before, and here it is implemented.
That's great. Well, on April 24th, the updated server solution for fleet management, Wialon Local 2404, was released. As always, most of the features included in the new Wialon Local have already been implemented in Wialon hosting within a year since the previous release of the server version of the system. This means that while all Wialon hosting users were already benefiting from these new features, the users of Wialon Local will also be able to start using these new features now. You just have to update your Wialon Local version. The positive side is that you will get the functionality that has already been tested by thousands of users. So what we have done in Wialon Local, we have revamped the login page with a modern look and color options, plus a handy timer for two-factor authentication. Inside Wialon, you will see refreshed, smoother animations, a clear work list, and improved dialog boxes. Viewing media files, it's now a breeze with a more intuitive interface. Speaking of clarity, we have added a new 10-point system for eco-driving ratings, plus access CO2 emission data for a greener fleet perspective, and eliminate reporting errors with the ability to mark false fuel events. If you need more control, you can now choose how sensor values are displayed, fractions or whole numbers, for a cleaner view. Managing units also got easier. Wialon's 2404 automatically adds new units to your work list, saving you time. Plus, find the information you need faster with enhanced search on notifications. The trash section got an update too. New search options help you locate the deleted objects quickly. If you need a driver back, restore the deleted drivers, passengers, trailers, and assignments, all on your own. Also, Wialon Local now allows login via Auth0, a central authentication service. This means you can use your Auth0 account to log in to Wialon and Vision Track and other supported single sign-on services without needing to remember multiple passwords. Contact Wialon support to link your third-party service account to Wialon Local via Auth0. Wialon Local 2404 is packed with a lot of new features to make your workday smoother. Streamlined experience, powerful insights, and effortless management, it's all there. Victoria, would you like to add something?
Yes, well, preparing the Wialon Local version is essential for our product and development teams, as we need to ensure that everything will work smoothly. For many partners who use local version, it is the only way to get the latest updates and new features. That's why we dedicate our time to this important work every year and fully support our product line. And what's the next feature we're going to discuss?
Well, the next feature is a savior for our users who are particular about the accuracy of the fuel data. When users saw some false fuel fillings or drains in the reports, they had no option to get rid of them. The only way they could avoid seeing such false events was by temporarily modifying the sensor settings, like changing the filtration level, etc., and then running the report. Once the report was generated, they have to revert the sensor settings back. So users do not have to do this now. They can just mark the fuel fillings and drains as false events. So false events will be labeled on maps, charts, and tracks with a special icon, and the associated data won't be used in calculating fuel-related metrics. Victoria, could you share more details about the value our users gain from this feature?
Of course, Nawaz. As you already mentioned, this feature proves helpful in scenarios where the system logs some events as fuel fillings and drains, while in fact it wasn't the case. For instance, the fuel level sensor might detect a sudden change if a vehicle is on a slope. And other cases include fuel temperature changes and fuel movement during calibrating fuel tanks. So these reasons naturally cause the fuel level change that can't be eliminated by the algorithms, but they need to be excluded from the report anyway. So with this new feature, users will get more precise fuel reports and more consistent data. And now there is no need to switch these settings back and forth, as the settings themselves are pretty complicated. So hopefully we've already cut the flow for handling these cases significantly. And now we're moving on with the next feature.
Yes, so the next one is about here maps. For the here maps users, there was no way to display the restrictions visually. Sometimes it might be not obvious why the route had been planned or performed in a certain way, and the analysis of these cases might have been time consuming. However, Wialon users working with here maps can now activate a layer that shows road restrictions for trucks. This helps understand why a route has been adjusted and simplifies the analysis of the trip after its completion. It helps to understand why this or that route was chosen because the restrictions are reflected visually. Please note that the elements of this layer are not interactive and are used only for visualizing restrictions.
So let's continue with the feature that I know for sure was long awaited.
Yes, so moving further, earlier, each time a unit is added to the fleet, the user needs to visit the monitoring tab and click the add all available option, or find the unit in the list and add it manually. This used to, of course, take time, and we have introduced the automatic addition of new units to the work list. So this simplifies the process for users. When this option is enabled, there's no need to take any extra steps. Just new units will be added to the list as soon as they appear. Victoria, I think it's clear how much easier the process is now.
Totally agree. And about the whole issue behind it. In Wialon, a work list is an entity bound to a user to give more flexibility for different levels of the business hierarchy. And by default, new units are added to the work list only for the user creator. So as you already mentioned, there was always a possibility to add all available units manually, but our product research showed that this system behavior wasn't obvious to our users, as well as very tiring and time consuming. And some partners shared the information that around 90% of the questions from their clients to their support teams were about this exact issue when the user created a new unit and couldn't see it in the work list. So the value here is pretty obvious. Now there's no need for manual work. New units can be added to the work list automatically if needed. And I hope we were saving a lot of time for the partners and their clients and their support teams already. And if the feature is not convenient for this or that reason for some specific workflow, the usual way of adding units to the work list is still available.
That's great. Now let's discuss the next feature. It is our way of supporting one of the constantly growing trends, video telematics. We are continuously developing the video module of Wialon, and some interesting updates we have done this year are as follows. Video quality selection. So earlier, there was no way the user could choose the quality of the live or playback videos. This impacted the user experience, especially when the data was crucial. Users can now select the quality of video recordings or live streams. Standard quality is set as the default to minimize the data usage. However, if users need to examine all the details for more thorough event analysis and in-cabin cameras support high-quality recording, then they can switch to viewing videos in higher resolution. Muting or unmuting the video sound. Yeah, this feature comes as a relief for users who need to support the sound along with the video. So though the users could hear the sound earlier, it wasn't possible to mute it. Imagine you have a device with 4 cameras and the sound of all cameras playing together. It would be chaos. You cannot hear even one sound well. So the users can now mute or unmute the video sound, including while viewing videos from messages, tracks, and reports. User can activate sound from a specific camera to get a deeper understanding of the event or mute the sound if it's irrelevant for analysis. Importantly, adjusting the sound settings in Wialon will not affect the browser sound settings.
Well, for these features, I guess it's pretty clear how they add value to the process of working with video in Wialon.
Exactly. Video file downloading. So earlier we had no built-in option in Wialon to manually download video files. Users used the browser feature that allowed them to click on the video file on its window with the right mouse button and select the save video. However, users can now continuously download the videos from the system to their computers using the built-in download button in Wialon. This feature is available in all sections of the system where video viewing is enabled, on the Files tab, as well as in Reports, Messages, and Tracks. Victoria, are there any use cases you'd like to share?
Yes, I'd like to add more context here. So even though now it's possible to mark some of the videos as important, to leave some files out of rewriting process, there's still a storage limit for them, which is 1 gigabyte. Another restriction for video file storage is the history period. And in some cases, additional video analysis might be needed long after the event happens. For example, all evidence for car accidents might be needed years after. Another use case is to have a simple way to store video locally or to share it with some other organizations. So this feature makes it much easier to manage the tasks I just mentioned, and now it is just a matter of a couple of clicks. So let's continue with my personal favorites, UI and UX enhancement. And I'd like to add a quick comment, as I know how controversial visual changes may seem sometimes. So when it comes to usability and appearance, dealing with complex interfaces like Wialon has becomes more and more complicated. User habits are powerful, and sometimes it may seem that we apply some unnecessary changes. But without changing some system parts gradually, we risk facing a completely outdated interface one day. So we always try to be careful about the existing use case scenarios, as our changes might impact someone's essential tasks and businesses. But at the same time, we'd like to be innovative and create more user-friendly and cutting-edge solutions.
That's nice to know. And the next one is about the viewing media files. The many users are aware that there's an option to view media files, that is images and video, received from the device by clicking on the media button that is found in the monitoring tab and also in reports and messages. However, the UI was pretty basic and it didn't include any details related to the file. We have revamped the interface for viewing media files, giving it a more modern look and standardizing the design across different system elements. To enhance user experience, we have also relocated key file details: the unit sending the file, date and time, and precise unit location at the time of image or video transmission, along with the button panel for interacting with the asset. Now, these elements are conveniently grouped in one place. We have upgraded the unit tooltip. You can see the difference in how it was and how cool it looks nice. It's visually more convenient for the users to read through the text, and it's neater than before. I hope the users will enjoy this new look.
Yeah, I think it's clear that the unit is a central element in Wialon, and its online data is widely used in the system to monitor its state in the form of a customizable tooltip. And even though it contains essential information, it used to look a bit outdated, and the way it looked also prevented us from making some other changing regarding user experience. So besides the value in the new look, the refreshed one, I'd like to add that the functionality and the workflow in general remain unchanged. The tooltip content is determined by user settings, just as before, and we've been gradually implementing the refreshed design across other system sections to ensure interface consistency throughout the system.
Well, I hope that the users will find these features useful in their projects. Victoria, and I've heard about some more new features that became available just yesterday. Could you share some insights about them?
Yes, absolutely. I'm ready to spill the beans. Yesterday, our latest update became available for all users. So let me tell you about two kind of important features. So the first one is automatic creation of popular sensors. So the issue that we were trying to solve is while creating new units, you need to know which sensors and parameters you need to configure for the device to start working properly. It may be confusing and tiring, especially for the newbies, for the new users.
Wow. I remember users used to create sensors manually, one by one, and they hold the information about the essential parameters in the head and how it works now.
Well, we added a new feature for the automatic creation of popular sensors in Wialon. So when creating a new unit, Wialon now recommends the most popular sensors previously created by other users for the same device type. So you can select the sensors you need from the list, copy them to your settings, and use them in your work. Currently, the list doesn't include all types of sensors. However, it shows the most popular ones, namely mileage, ignition, and voltage sensors. And well, this feature will significantly simplify the initial stages of working with Wialon, especially for new users, as it typically, as this work typically begins with creating sensors and setting their parameters. For experienced users, it will save time by providing a convenient drop-down list of sensors when adding new units.
It looks like a great addition to today's lineup. And what is the other? I guess our viewers are intrigued.
Well, I hope this one will be good and warmly welcomed news. It's needless to say how important sustainability has become for businesses, and this trend is only growing. So electric vehicles are quickly gaining more market share, and we aim to support these technologies in Wialon. We will start with functionality that allows battery level control. This one is the first step towards enabling the tracking of electric vehicles' performance in the system and analyzing the metrics. So our second feature is battery level control for electric vehicles. So previously, there was a workaround to manage electric vehicles in Wialon, but the way it used to work was, well, far from perfect. Logic-wise, fuel level monitoring is similar to it. So technically, you could use the same workflow using and creating fuel sensors. However, the way it used to be done was far from user-friendly, as you should use custom sensors, formulas, and calculators in the report, and also the units of measurement would be wrong. And now a new battery level sensor is available in Wialon, allowing users to determine the electric vehicle's charging level in kilowatt hour. These sensors work in principle, as I mentioned before, is similar to that of fuel sensors, and it's supported in the key places essential for data analysis. So you can view charging sessions and energy consumptions in reports. track dynamics in charts, receive notifications about battery charges, and monitor the battery charging level on the monitoring tab in tooltips and on tracks. So with this new addition, our partners can more proactively offer Wialon to fleet owners whose fleets include electric vehicles. Fleet owners, in turn, can easily monitor the electric fleet operations and analyze the incoming data. Also, it won't be a problem for the mixed fleets, as all the information will be available in one report, fuel and energy. So the introduction of the battery level sensor is a significant step towards developing a comprehensive infrastructure for electric vehicles in Wialon. And although it's only the first one, it's much easier to work with electric vehicles already today. And we are planning to work on other features for effective electric vehicle management based on the market demands, and we'll be gathering your feedback, your feature ideas. So stay tuned, I would say.
Amazing. I think these are real game changers for our partners. I hope everyone enjoyed the presentation and found these information useful. As we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, please feel free to scan the QR code on the screen and take a short survey to help us understand which features and their improvements are important for you and for your clients. You can scan the QR code and take the survey after the webinar is over, because now we can discuss the question answers, which is the most important part of this session. So let's check what questions we have from the audience. We have questions from Peter Chalho from Maliatech. Similar to LeaseControl and logistics, when will we have a mobile version for FleetRun for the service team? Well, nice question, Peter. Victoria, do you think we have something on our roadmap related to FleetRun, mobile application for FleetRun?
As for FleetRun, at the moment, no, we don't have this on our public roadmap. And actually, as some of our viewers probably know, we shared our public roadmap for this year, which contains like the bigger updates, I would say. And well, we will take all the questions, all the comments into our product team, and we'll analyze them once again. We'll count this as an idea for the future. But at the moment, no, we don't have such plans. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we can discuss this, how it really matters and how it impacts your customers. We will catch up, Peter, and we will try to get more details from you about this requirement. The next question we have is Marwan, and he asks if there is a driver's application planned. Well, Marwan, we have a application for the drivers already, and that is the logistics mobile app. So I believe that would help you. So we have a logistics mobile application that uses all the orders that you create in logistics app, and the drivers will receive the notifications whenever new orders are assigned to them, so they can follow the route and do the deliveries and also update the order statuses on this application. So if that's what you're looking for, then we already have this. You should probably check about logistics application on our website. The next question is Feral Kudzi, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. He asks if for LeaseControl, can I block the car from starting if the client didn't pay or have not made the payment? Absolutely, you can. While the payment information is not in Wialon, you can send a manual command to the car to turn off the engine. You can do that. It's just about the device that you're using. It has to support the remote commands and the ability to turn off the engine remotely. So if your device supports this feature, you can send such command from LeaseControl. Victoria, would you like to take the next question? It's from Collins.
Yeah, there are two questions from Collins Olkoth. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. The first one is, do you charge for white labeling the same on here maps, or do you charge for the same? Please address any charging questions to your personal manager, I would say, because we are we'd like to focus on the features here, like on the any questions about the latest updates. So I'd recommend that. And the other question is actually about the feature. When marking the false thefts fill-in, is it reversible? Yes, it is reversible. So you could try and like play around with it, but you can like cancel the false theft you marked before. So please try this out, I would say.
That's great. And we have more questions. To be honest, we have a lot of questions. Very nice to see that the audience is so engaged and they are participating in this webinar. So thank you for so many questions. The next one is about accident. It's from Arya. The participant name is Arya. If I accidentally erase the right fuel filling, how can I restore it? Well, I believe you already got the answer. Victoria has just mentioned the same. So it is possible to reverse it. The next question is from Xavier, and he asks, how much is the cost for here maps for truck? The cost for here maps, I'm not sure it's chargeable, because as I know, it's available for free, but I'm not sure here. So it's better that you write to your personal manager from the sales team, and they will be helping you with all questions related to the costs. But in my opinion, there is no cost for here maps.
I could take the next one, actually, because
yeah, sure.
it's kind of my area of expertise, I would say. So new tooltip is only available on map, not on monitoring panel. Actually, by this very moment, I think it's available almost everywhere in the system, except for the monitoring panel. We're kind of working on that right now with my team. But as I mentioned before, what we've tried to do is we picked this one place. It was the map. To kind of try to get the feedback from you, from the users, maybe adjust something, and we did that. And after these adjustments, we kept on implementing this very tooltip in all the places, replacing the old one. So basically, we've done this step by step. Like we took I don't know, 3 tabs, we replace it, we release it. That's how it works. And by this moment, we are almost run out of these places. The only left is the monitoring panel, the one in the work list when it expands, and the one on hover. And we'll do that pretty soon, I'd say, because it is not on our roadmap, it's on our nearest future, I would say. So soon enough, the new tooltip will be everywhere. So I hope this is good news. And another question is, can we talk about false fuel level? And I'm not quite sure that I get the details of the question. We definitely can, but maybe we can find the details somewhere above. I don't know. We'll get through that. The question is not clear, I would say.
It's from Xavier again. Xavier, feel free to elaborate your question about this false fuel level, and we can then address it. Moving further, what do we have next? Muhammad Parker. Can it be filtered to remove false readings from the temperature sensor, which appear on the report as 200 Celsius? You mean if the value is too high, it's probably not correct, and you would like to filter it somehow. So you can do this. There are several ways to do it. One that comes to my mind right away is setting an upper bound in the calculation table of the sensor settings. So you can set an upper bound of 200 degrees Celsius, and any reading that goes above that will be marked as will be a false reading. I mean, um, it will be an invalid data. So the system would know that there is a bound of 200 degrees Celsius. All right, I see some questions that are like generic ones, not related to the features that we announced. Also, seems like in general, there are a lot of questions our participants have. That's nice. The next question is from Ahmad Soub, um, and it's about Wialon Local. Uh, is there a playback and download option for the video? Because now we only have live stream. All right, so it's it's not something new for us. We have faced such question a lot of times because Wialon Local has a different video feature, not same like the Wialon hosting one. If you're using Wialon Local and you're using video monitoring, it's probably because we have installed a separate service for you so that you can work with the video monitoring. However, it's not the same like Wialon hosting at all. We are still working on this, and it might be in future, but so far there are no changes in the video feature for Wialon Local, unfortunately. Um, Regarding the old units, can we apply the automatic sensor to it? Wow, that's a nice question. Victoria, what do you think? Uh, the units that are already in the system, will the automatic creation of sensors work for those units or only for the new ones?
Well, it how should I put it? This recommendation system is it depends on the device type that is set and on the sensors there that are already here or not. So probably for the already existing units, well, if you have any sensors created, then there is nothing to recommend there. So it kind of analyzes the sensors unit already has as well. So it depends on the case, I would say, because I think it's not likely that you have a unit without any sensors created, like it's already exists. It's kind of not the usual use case, I would say. So mainly this feature is aimed at the new units, like at the moment you create them. And if, for example, for this or that reason, you have a unit that has different settings already set, but there's no device type for some reason, then yes, once you select the device type, the recommendations work. But probably if you already have a unit, you have some settings already in place. So it's kind of hard to comment without the context on the particular case. But overall, it's mostly for like creating units from scratch. That's the idea, like to simplify, to make this process easier and quicker.
Yeah, makes sense. Like for now, we have created this feature specifically for the new units. But once you start seeing this new feature, you can also explore like with the existing ones, and do let us know if you face any challenges with that. What we have next, regarding the Nimbus, do you have application to present trip at the bus screens? All right, I remember a project that was implemented, and you can find it in our use case library, where one of our partners used Nimbus, and they used the locator link from the Nimbus to showcase the routes on a monitor that was placed on a bus station. You will need some API to do this. However, it's possible. You can achieve it. So these are the questions from Ahmed Saab. I hope, Ahmed, you got all your answers. Moving next, it's Albertson Ib, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. He asks if it is the storage limit is 5 GB, not 1 GB.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. This is my bad. Probably I misspoke. For sure, it's 5 GB. Sorry. Sorry for that.
Okay, I didn't notice that very well. Thanks,
Yeah,
Albert.
probably just slipped out of my mouth. I'm sorry. Yes, the storage is 5 GB. And I could also take the second one. Is there any plan to improve the dashboard panel by making it customizable from end user? It's actually kind of complicated question for for me because we do like we did do some product research on dashboard panel and we did have some ideas. But for now, once again, it's not on our roadmap, like for this year, no. But we still continue gathering these ideas and analyzing them. So we have your contacts, and probably we could discuss it later once we get to this idea once again. Like we do have this in mind, and I think we really appreciate the feedback from you and from your end users specifically about their needs. But at the moment, like I can't give any predictions regarding the like when it will be developed. It's just something we consider from time to time, some different ways to improve it. So I think we'd like to get in touch maybe later. And thank you for the question. That's how we see the demand.
Thanks, Victoria. The next is not a question, but a request to add to our WhatsApp forum. Yeah, we do have WhatsApp groups for our partners in different languages. I believe English, and I also remember there is one in Spanish. So if anyone would want to be part of it, you can request to your personal manager, and they would add you to this group. We have more questions. To be honest, I think we are coming to the end of the session, and it will not be possible to answer all the questions because I think we didn't even complete like 50% of them. We have like more than 50 questions, and that's actually a nice response. But unfortunately, we can't cover all of them. So we'll try to spend like 5 more minutes answering the questions. And if you're lucky enough, your question will be in the list. But be rest assured that if we don't answer your questions now, we will contact you over the email very soon and reply your question there personally. So the next one here is how do we turn on the new tooltip? Victoria, do they need to do some steps to turn on the new tooltip? I believe no.
No, not really. It is replaced automatically in all the places it used to be. Typically, it appears on the hover, on the unit icon in different places in the system. And also you can customize it in user settings. So maybe I could just think that maybe all of the information is deactivated, and for some reason you either don't see the tooltip or you see it like very small, you don't pay attention. You could visit user settings and activate the sections you'd like to see, basically like the location, the sensor data, etc., whatever works for you, and the tooltip will appear in a new way already. So, but it is for sure, these are updates for Wialon hosting, not for Wialon local. So this is the only thing that I should mention. Maybe that's why you can't see the new tooltip yet. So for now, it is only available on Wialon hosting.
All right, that was the question from Casey Simons. And the next one is from Costas Colermo. And he asks if the automatic sensor work for any device brand that is used? And also, will the automatic sensors detect if there is a CAN bus sensor to get the information from? Um, I believe yes, it works for all the device brand that is integrated with Wialon. However, about the automatic detection of CAN bus sensors, um, Victoria, what do you think?
Well, for now, it's just a start for this recommendation system. And as I mentioned, we started with just 3 sensors to recommend, but we'll be exploring the demand once again and how the feature is used and which ones are needed. So yeah, I think we'll just add this information and pass it to the people who like process it and take into account for the future development of this recommendation system. But at the moment, it's kind of, I'd say, more how to put it, simple for like as a first step. And in future, we could make it like more and more complex. So if we see the demand, obviously.
Well, that's nice. The next one is from Namahoro Isaka, if I pronounce it correctly. He asks why false fuel fillings or fuel drain feature is not available on mobile app. We need to mark those events by using mobile Wialon application. Oh, we don't have this feature on mobile apps yet, but are there any plans, Victoria?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question, because as I mentioned before, we gather all of them as the ideas because they indicate your interest basically. But let me remind you that like it's not like the mobile app has exactly the same functionality as the web version, right? So that's how we basically decide what to add or what to not. We analyze all of the ideas, all of the comments from you, and well, we just add this one because this feature was released not that far ago actually. So maybe in future we'll have it, maybe we'll not. Like we'll wait and see what will be in our roadmap. At first, well, typically we release something for the web version and see how it's used and what's the demand, and if it is needed in the mobile application, then maybe we'll do it. The same is if you remember earlier we talked about LeaseControl solution. That's exactly what we did. We released it and then we gathered all the feedback we got, and well, now it's possible to work with LeaseControl as with mobile application and white label it. So thank you for the input. We'll note that definitely. It's nice
Yeah.
to hear that this functionality is like demanded and both on web version and mobile version. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it's in demand because I have another participant. His name is Mohammed Rafat, and he asks the same question about false fuel and drain options in mobile app. So, Rafat, you probably got your answer. And Rafat also asks, can we get Sensolator app? Not sure. It's like the full question. Do you need like a mobile application or what exactly is required? It would be nice if you share more details on this context so we can answer, Rafat. All right, now the last question we have to pick from one participant because we are coming to the end of the session. Let's pick one. The lucky user, the last question. Do you have do you look at how Gurtam features compared to the leaders in the industry? And do we get to ask a lot about this? This question is from Todd Morris. Wow, that's a good question. And I straight away pass it to Victoria.
For sure.
So
For sure. That's my area of expertise. So Todd, first of all, thank you for the question. And the answer is yes, absolutely. We do look at how Wialon features compare to the leaders in the industry, as you mentioned. Moreover, in the beginning of this year, we had this special product activity that included like deep research of our competitors. And the thing is that, as I mentioned in the very beginning, in our product development process, we have to consider a lot of different factors. And also we kind of have different resources compared to some of the companies you mentioned, right? So we kind of have to remember that. And this is not the only input we use. So as I mentioned, we analyze our competitors, we analyze market in general, and we also analyze carefully all the ideas we get both internally inside our company, because we have a lot of very strong expertise among our employees here, among our colleagues. They give some really bright ideas. And of course, as I mentioned once again before, from you, we analyze everything we get from you from different sources, and only after gathering all of this information together, we make our decisions. So it might be not that straightforward for you, probably, but for sure, we do look at the competitors and at the market in general. And we try our best to keep up with it and to make informed and wise decisions.
That's great. So with this, we end the Q&A section. As I said, we have answered, I think, 20% of the questions, and we will be writing back to all your questions personally via email. So please wait for us to frame all the responses and reach out to you personally. So dear partners, a short survey will appear on your browsers automatically when the webinar ends. This survey is for us to understand if you found this webinar helpful and if you'd like more such webinars in the future. So I kindly request all participants to spare just 2 minutes of your time to share this feedback. I thank you all for your attention. It was a pleasure seeing you all here. And especially thank you, Viktoria, for joining us today and answering all the difficult questions. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Nawaz, and dear audience. It was my pleasure to have this conversation. Once again, please let us know about your opinion on this webinar. Stay tuned to find out about the latest updates. And thank you again for your activity, for your questions. That means a lot to us. So stay tuned.
Yeah, goodbye for now. I wish you all the best and see you in our next webinar.